Hello, I believe we are live. Just give me a moment or two. I'll make sure everything is working fine and we shall get started. Everything looks in good shape. So let's get the show on the roads. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Ozair and thank you for joining in. In today's live stream, I'll be talking about how to write great and compelling ads for your Google campaigns. But before I get started, those of you who have been here before, welcome back, and those of you who are new, thank you for joining in. The format of these sessions is very informal. You can ask any questions you like as we go along, and I tend to come to all the questions towards the end of before the end of the session. There's a comment box on the right hand side of your video. Please enter any questions over there, and I'll try my best to answer them for you. So today it's all about writing compelling ads. The reason you need to have a strong ads is to get that click in comparison to your competitors. Google is in the business of getting clicks. Nobody likes ads which don't attract any click. You won't like it. Google certainly won't like it. And obviously from the audience point of view, or the person searching for a product or a service, if they don't see a great ad, they're not going to click on it. So that user experience is not going to be great on Google Ads. So it's kind of like a lose situation, but we need to turn it around into a win-win-win situation for all of us, because the more clicks you are going to attract, the more traffic you're going to get to your website, and hopefully a percentage of those visitors on your landing page or your website are going to become a lead or a customer. And obviously Google makes money when people click on our ads. But we don't want irrelevant clicks either. So we want to make sure that the targeting is pretty tight and good, and the right and the relevant visitor is attracted to our ads. They click on the ads and they click through. Getting more clicks on your website, or on your ads I should say, is good for us as advertisers, because what happens is when Google sees a higher click-through rate, that means that when someone sees the ad, they click on it, they come through to your website. Google knows that people, when they see your ad, they like your ad. So the messaging is good, and obviously Google makes money, and hopefully you will make money, because Google is driving relevant visitors to your site. So what I'm going to do is to go through how to get started with writing an ad. Most people I know of, they jump straight into the Google Ads interface and start writing. I tend to stay away from it, because once I show you how I do this, it will hopefully make a bit more sense, and then you can think more about it, write the ads, go away from your computer, come back in a few hours or perhaps the next day, reread the ads again and see whether it is still making sense or it's as good as you possibly can write. So you don't need to be a professional copywriter. You just need to use some few basic things to make a great looking ad. Now, if you want me to write an ad for you, all I would ask you to do is to enter your website URL on the chat comment box, and I'm going to try and write an ad for you. Okay, so let's hop on to our Google Sheets. So whether you use a Excel or Google Sheets is the same, or on a Mac it is the Numbers app. So what you want to do is to make these columns first of all. and I've left a blank column between each one of them. I'm gonna tell you why in a bit. I'm gonna just expand these up a bit, so when we write the ads, we have enough space. The description is a bit more. Okay. So as we know, headline 1, 2, and 3, a maximum of 30 characters. Description 1 is 90. Description 2 is 90. Final URL, you don't need to worry about it. Headline, path 1, 15. Path 2, 15 characters. So this is an extended, beg your pardon, expanded text ad, which we are going to write. Okay, so I've got all of these. Now what you need to write, first of all, is, and this is what I tend to do, is I want to put that keyword straight up in headline 1. Because if I've searched for a product or a service, and straight up in that first headline which they read on the ad is about what they've searched for, you are most likely to get the click, and obviously your ad is pretty much relevant to that search query. So try and put that keyword, well, not try and, but definitely put the keyword in headline 1. Then we have either, if you have a free offer like free consultation, free delivery, free ebook, or anything which you are offering for free, put it in. That is one of the best ways to attract a click, because free, everybody loves a bit of a freebie, and if your offer is enticing enough, then you can get that click. Then I put in the call to action. Now you can try putting in the call to action in headline 2 or the free offer in headline 3 and mix them up, have variations of these ads, and see which one is attracting the most click, or the highest click-through rate, or the conversion rate. So what we want to see is to split test. So let's say this is my ad. Okay. Now we have description 1 and description 2, which are a little bit longer. As we can see, we got 90 characters. So what I also want to do is put in the benefits. What's the benefit for that user of your product or this? Features is also important. Pricing is also important, and again I tend to put in a call to action over here, so kind of like, you know, get offer, buy now, visit website, or whatever that call to action may be in description 2. So now I've got my headlines and description sorted, and then I'm going to put in the keyword in there. Now what I'm saying is, don't put the same keyword in here. So let's say if you were running an ad for emergency plumbing, so you can put in emergency plumbing or plumber or whatever. So then utilize as many characters as you potentially can on both of these, path 1 and path 2. Done this in the wrong. Okay. Now you must be wondering, why have I left these blank columns? It's because we can put in a formula over here. so I can see straight up whether my headline is within the character limit or not. I copy that, paste them in here. So we know all is good. Because what the one of the frustrating things which happens is you go into editor, if you are using editor, or in Google Ads, you try and upload, and then it will give you an error that you are over the character limit. So try, and you can do also some funky stuff in here, that if the character goes over 30 characters, make this red. So then you know that it is this cell, there's a problem. Or if it is under 30 or under 90, keep them as green. Over 30 or 90 or 15 for path 1 and path 2, make them as red, so you can be as funky as you like. Okay, so now I've created my headline, so it has got pretty much everything which we can possibly put up. We've got the keyword, we've got our offer, we've got the call to action is extremely important. Try and repeat this at least twice on the ads, because sometimes the headline 3 is not shown. Sometimes Google will show only headline 1 or headline 2. So what you could do potentially is something like that. You crisscross and then change the headline 1. So for example, let's go with that emergency plumbing, right? So emergency plumber near me. And what I could also do as headline 1, I could change it as we can put something like trusted emergency plumber. So if you got any social proof, where you can also put in somewhere over here, established over, in fact I put in the social proof as well. You got over 500 reviews on Google or wherever, and you can put in something like if you have been established long time, let's establish over 25 plus years. Not many businesses reach that stage. So if you are one of those businesses, or you are running this for a client, then you should highlight this and also put these in the call outs and structure snippets, and use all the extensions which we will go into another time, because I just wanted to go through the ads over here. So we've got ad 1 and ad 2 written fairly quickly and easily. So now you've got the format as to what you want to be writing, and you will find that if you follow this format, your ads will hopefully attract more clicks than before, and you are getting into a process and a system where whenever you write the ad, you follow the same process, and not trying to rack your brains as to, okay, what do I write, or what can I write. There's so much you can write, but the problem is we are limited by the character count. And I've seen many times a lot of people are very lazy, and they will just put in free offer, and they've wasted 20 characters. You've got 30, use as much as possible, and you've got 90 over here. Don't just make 43 write 43 characters long and put it up. Use as many characters as you can to make your ads as bigger as possible. So these are all the things which I would write in an ad. If there's anything which you think should be in there as well, then yeah, put it in the comment box below and let me know. But I'm going to go into the comments Right now I can see a fair few being put up, and I'll go through them and try and answer them for you guys. Okay, so Sandeep, how to exclude my YouTube subscriber from target audience in video campaign? I don't want to target my YouTube subscriber again, so some so some of your budget is saved. So you can exclude it in the exclusion audience. So you can include the audience, just like we could you can put in keywords as well as negative keywords. You can put in audience as well as negative audience. So if you don't want any audience in your campaigns to be targeted, then you put them out as a negative audience and exclude them. And that's fairly straightforward thing to do. Sandy, I'm looking young in this t-shirt. Oh, you're the third person complimenting me on this t-shirt today, so I think I'm going to buy a few more of these as it makes me look younger and hopefully a bit more smarter. Hello Mubarak. Okay, analytics audience size is 500, but it shows 0 audience in Google Ads. Have you linked analytics to Google Ads and imported that audience in Google Ads? I think that's what may have happened. Or if this is a search audio, you're running a search campaign and you're trying to run a RLSA audience, then you need a minimum of 1000. If still that doesn't work, or it's not coming through into Google Ads, then I would speak with Google Ads and see what they say. At the moment, obviously the support is down, but I believe you can write to them and they're pretty prompt at replying by email. Okay, hello Prajapati. If a person clicks on my search ad and then after getting on landing page, he presses the back button and then again clicks on search ad, will Google charge me the money again? Google will, but if they feel that it is a fraudulent click and it is classified, it can be classified as an invalid click, so you will get refunded in your accounts, but it depends on after how long they went back and then they clicked on the ad again. So that I cannot say for certain whether you will get charged or not. Most probably yes, but if Google thinks and feels that this is an invalid click, then no, it will not, you will not get charged. Hi Adam. Would a switch to maximize conversions from manual bidding be a good interim option if you are trying to increase conversions before you finally switch over to TCPA? You can do that if you want to, and I know you've sent quite a few questions over the last few weeks about the smart bidding. I'm not sure whether you are struggling with them or not getting the right results or not, but what I would do if I was you is run all 3 of them together: manual, TCPA, maximize clicks, and maximize conversion value, 4 of them together. I know there'll be a bit more budget to be put up, but then you're going to get the data a lot quicker and then see what is working and what's not working. And then you can either switch over to TCPA or maximize conversion, whichever ones you want to go with. If you are limited by budget, then TCPA would not be the right campaign. The maximized conversions would be, because you need to give at least 4 to 5 times your target CPA budget. So if you're, let's say your TCPA is £50 or dollars, then I would, if I was you, give the daily budget as between 200 to 250 to let Google run. So try all of them together and see which one works. But if you don't have any data, then all the smart biddings will go into the learning mode, and it may take a few days before they start to run. But in the meantime, your manual campaigns will kick in straight off the bat, and at least you can start to get the impressions and the clicks. Okay, Sandy Entertainments. In WordPress, tools like Yoast SEO will calculate the character count. Is any tool for non-WordPress users? Well, I'm a bit confused, Sandy, as to why would you go into Yoast plugin to write your Google ads? That is for your on-page optimization, and you put in the character count, and I don't think Yoast will have, I'm pretty certain it doesn't have headline 1, headline 2, 3, and 4. All you need to do is to just make a template like this in Google Sheets or Google or in Excel, and leave it as, keep one as a template and keep on using it as many times as you want. Okay, Mubarak, you said it's a display campaign. Okay, so 500 is enough to run. Obviously, the remarketing and the minimum required is 100, but I still find that you need to have at least a few thousand before you can really get going. So that's my personal opinion. I rather have quite a few, and if you want to drive fair amount of traffic at the least amount of money, and look at Gmail ads as well as discovery ads. You can get some really targeted traffic from there by targeting the custom intent audience. Okay, Sandeep, if I have an old campaign with few impressions, let's say 50,000, then how can I exclude that 50k audience for my new campaign? Because I don't want to give money to Google for that impression again. Well, first of all, you are not giving any money to anyone for impressions unless you are running as a CPM, cost per 1,000 impressions campaigns. If you're running a CPC or search campaign, then you pay on that click. Now, you don't want to show your new campaign to that audience. Why wouldn't you? That would be the first people I would go after, because they've already been to my website. You got a fair amount of audience, start a remarketing campaign. Why would you want to exclude such a large amount of audience instead of going after the cold audience, trying to, you see, the thing is, we always feel that the grass is greener on the other side, but you've got enough audience in your pot. Go after them first and then start the cold campaign of going after new. If you don't have the budget, I would definitely start with this one first and then go at targeting other people. Okay. So Mubarak, you will have to rewind this video and watch my reply to your question. Sandy, is there any tool to write content? You don't need any tools. I've just shown you how to write. It's simple. You write your keywords in the headline 1, you put in your offer, call to action, benefits and features, which the benefits and features should be on your landing page anyway, or your client landing page. So it's fairly straightforward and easy. The pricing can be also there. Call to action could be buy now, visit website, call now, or these sort of things. So you don't need any apps or anything like that to write these ads. I've made it pretty simple over here to get started and write attractive ads. Adam, when you audit a pre-existing Google Ads account, what are the main metrics or errors you look at to identify inefficiencies? Great question. So we have 100+ point checklist which we go through, which is impossible to go through right now. But the most important, some of the most important metrics obviously is the conversion tracking working well. The accounts are linked to Google Analytics. The ads are written properly. All the extensions have been approved and at account level. I've just seen one account today. We took over. The extensions were set at campaign level, and a lot of the campaigns did not have that extensions on them. So make sure that obviously you need to make sure that the extensions are applicable at account level. So it's fairly easy to make a mistake by when you go into extensions and you go into that drop down, quite easily you can select campaign instead of the account level. So those sort of things which we will look at to see where we want to go after the lowest hanging fruit first. A lot of the time I find that the conversion tracking is not set up properly, so I'm going to go after that first to make sure that it's all up and running properly and these sort of things. So you can break down your checklist at account, campaign, ad group, keywords, negative keyword lists, and those sort of things. And once you start building these up, you will have a structure or a process, and you just check them off every time you do an audit. Okay. You're welcome, guys. No problem at all. And thank you for some really interesting questions. Sandeep, I'm really not sure what you're trying to say, that you've got 50,000 impressions. So if you could rephrase and send it again perhaps tomorrow, as I will be switching off this live stream fairly soon. So thank you guys for being here, and thanks for these questions, because without this interaction it becomes boring for me, and I'm sure it becomes boring for the viewer. But when there is lots of interactions and questions and comments, it makes it a great experience for everyone. Especially I thoroughly enjoy, because I don't know what question is going to be thrown at me, so I need to be well, I can't prepare myself, but I should know pretty much what I'm doing. Okay, so thank you guys for being here. I'll be here tomorrow at same time, 5 o'clock tomorrow. Till then, stay safe, and see you tomorrow. Bye for now.